What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, the two new upcoming packages, the physical infrastructure package, as well as the next stimulus package, the American Families Plan, as well as what is going on in the world today. Today, we are expected to get a counter proposal from the Republicans on the physical infrastructure bill, which is called the American Jobs Plan, and will greatly benefit our country, doing billions and trillions of dollars of infrastructure across the United States in multiple different ways, in a lot more than just roads, bridges, and physical infrastructure that you might think, including water infrastructure, airport infrastructure, broadband infrastructure, and all sorts of other miscellaneous infrastructure packages. First, let's start with White House economic advisor Jared Bernstein on if they can get a deal done with the Republicans over this package. Also, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps out our channel. All right, here we go.
Potential signs of progress on an infrastructure deal out of D.C. Democrats and Republicans are still pretty far apart on how much they want to spend, but the White House said late last week that President Biden expects a revised proposal from a group of GOP senators by tomorrow. Joining us right now, White House Council of Economic Advisors member Jared Bernstein. And Jared, it's great to see you. This talk of bipartisanship, how seriously do you take this? Because my understanding has been that bipartisanship will happen only if it can't get jammed through with all the Democratic votes. Does it look less likely that that can happen, that the Democrats will line up and go ahead with the plan as proposed by the administration?
Well, first of all, great to see the three of you as well. I think in this case, particularly, Becky, there's a real chance for bipartisanship. And the reason I say that is because I've known for years from my work on the Hill that there are Republicans who really want to do something on infrastructure. I mean, you've heard no less than Mitch McConnell talk about a bridge in his district that needs work. And that's something I've heard for a long time. Some of these Republicans used to pull me over in the halls and say, look, I don't want anyone to see me talking to you, but we need to get an infrastructure plan, and our president doesn't have one. So now we have a president who has a very elaborate one, and he is just congenitally going to reach across the aisle and try to get cooperation on moving this forward.
Jared, you're dodging my question, though. The president didn't reach across the aisle and move forward with something when he could get the Democratic votes. We have had several Democrats who have come on the show in the House and the Senate who have raised concerns about the package as proposed, it being maybe too progressive, cramming too many things in that they don't consider to be infrastructure, and to pay for it in ways that they're frustrated. I mean, just last week on Friday, we were talking with Congressman Gottheimer, who's from New Jersey, and who basically held a pen that said, no salt, no dice. He wants the salt taxes brought back, the exemption for that. And he's not going to vote on this. And if you don't get the votes in the House, if you don't get the votes in the Senate, you can't do what the administration has planned.
Well, I'm not exactly sure what you're pressing me on here, because what I'm trying to see is, like, if you watch what the president is doing and what he's saying, he's talking to these very lawmakers trying to get to a deal.
Also, in interesting news, there's going to be a new redistricting process done in states, which will reshape the House of Representatives potentially. Now, what's interesting here is the Republicans are actually gaining several seats from the new 2020 census results. There's been several Democratic states that lost seats, including New York and California, and Texas gained 2 seats. And overall, the Republicans in Republican-led states are gaining a few U.S. House of Representative seats, or at least in Republican-led areas. Again, when the next election comes out in 2022, anything can happen. But there's also a redistricting process going on. As you can see here, Republican state legislators see this year's decennial redistricting process as a prime opportunity to gain House seats in next year's midterm elections, with some believing those gains alone can help the Republican Party take back the majorities. Legislators are preparing for the most public redistricting process in American history. Both Democrats and Republicans stand ready to accuse each other of radical gerrymandering. While advances in technology give each side the chance to draw ideal districts that are both pleasing to the eye and politically favorable, Republicans are starting with an advantage. The Republican Party will hold complete power over this redistricting process in 20 different states that collectively send 188 members to the U.S. House of Representatives, including Nebraska's nonpartisan state Senate, which is in practice run by Republicans. Democrats will control the process in only 7 states that send 72 members to the House, and districts in 16 other states are drawn either by independent commissions or by divided government. So basically, the Democrats have the next year and a half or so to pass as many stimulus packages and anything Democratic politically that they want to pass. Because when the next election comes around next year, it's a 50-50 Senate. So if Democrats lose even a single seat in the Senate, the Republicans will take control. And it's looking to be almost the same thing in the House, that if they lose a single seat, that they might lose control of the House as well. So it's probably a pretty good chance that the Republican Party could take over one or the other, as opposed to a Democratic sweep again. Senator Bernie Sanders says if the Democrats don't put up or shut up and do everything that the American people need and want out of the Democratic Party, that history shows that the majority party will lose control. One thing the Democrats are fighting the Republicans over right now that's really been really hot news over the last 7 days or so is that 20 Republican governors from Republican-run states are opting out of the $300 per week unemployment bonus for unemployed people right now, as well as also opting out of the extra federal bonus weeks. Each state has their own amount of unemployment. Normally it's around 26 weeks, but the pandemic and the stimulus packages have added additional weeks onto that, at least another 26 weeks or so. And Republican governors are going to be opting out of those extra weeks, as well as the $300 per week bonus, starting as early as next month. They're saying that up to nearly 2 million people could lose at least some or all of their unemployment benefits because of this move from Republican governors. Senator Bernie Sanders, who's the second in charge Democrat in the Senate and also considered President Biden's right-hand man, he was also the second Democratic candidate in the presidential election, says that the Biden administration needs to keep jobless benefits flowing to gig workers on the verge of losing stimulus aid from Republican governors, and to block Republican governors from being able to do this and being able to take away the $300 per week federal subsidy that has been passed by federal Congress, the House and the Senate, and that states should not be allowed to do this. Now, there's at least some good news regarding, let's just assume that the states are able to uphold this. I assume there will be some lawsuits here in the near future, but by the time those lawsuits are settled, these states could have already withdrawn these extra unemployment benefits. The good news is that if you consider that bad news, you could consider that good news, because a lot of Republicans are basically just taking a tough love approach and are saying it's time to go back to work. Go back to work. There's millions of jobs available. Albeit a lot of the jobs that are available are minimum wage jobs, low-paying jobs, $7, $8, $9 an hour jobs, as well as a lot of part-time jobs, $15, $20 an hour week jobs. When you look at the combination of full-time and well-paying, there's actually a very limited amount of jobs available right now for those coveted jobs. But the good news is that some Republican governors are considering what they're calling a back-to-work bonus, where instead of the extra $300 per week unemployment per week bonus money, states like Arizona are going to be offering a $2,000 back-to-work bonus. I'm seeing different states anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000. Some states offering $1,200, and different numbers in between there if their state offers it, instead of that $300 per week bonus. Arizona Republican Governor Doug Ducey says instead of paying people to stay at home, we're going to be paying people to go back to work. I think that's not a bad compromise if we see all these states actually offer these back to work bonuses. I understand a lot of people are going to have a hard time going back to work, again, because of that problem I just said. Low paying jobs and part-time jobs are the majority of jobs that are available right now. But if and when they do find a job to go back to work, then they could get a nice $1,000 to $2,000 bonus. I think that's a decent compromise. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. The problem with this is that some states are offering no, they're opting out of the unemployment and offering no back to work bonus. So yeah, that's not really that great of a compromise. The White House has also announced that they're sending out the $350 billion to states, local governments, and states, counties, and cities. And of this $350 billion, there's certain rules that the states must not show that they're going to use this money for tax cuts. It's, for some reason, that's just one of the things that they're not allowed to do. There's actually a bunch of Republican governors that are suing the Biden administration over this. Whether anything will happen over that, we don't know. But there's another provision in there that says that they have to use more of this money on you guys, on state and local program stimulus checks, as well as mortgage assistance, rental assistance, property tax assistance, and utility assistance. And once states receive this money, we're going to see a lot of these states issuing their own stimulus checks. For example, there are several states that have already kind of started this, even though they haven't gotten the money. The most notable one is California, that is going to be expanding their $600 state stimulus check program, which is called the California Golden State Stimulus. This has already been passed, but the previous round was only for people up to making $30,000. They now want to, the new proposal with this new money that the government's going to be getting, or the states are going to be getting, they want to send it out to up to 2/3 of all Californians, basically anybody making up to $75,000 in California. That would provide a state stimulus check for Californians of up to 25 million people, $600 per person. That's the largest one yet to date. I don't know if we'll see a larger one yet because California has the largest population, right? But also, if you have children, you can get an extra $500 for a total of $1,100. The main qualifications for the California one is you need to make below $75,000. It's not passed yet, the second round of this yet. I expect they're probably waiting for their money. The first round is passed if you make up to $30,000. And the only qualifications besides the income limit is you have to file a tax return. If you don't normally file a tax return, then just file a tax return anyways. Just file a free tax return online. You can go to Google and say free tax return or file free tax return, and you can go directly to the IRS's website and file that. That is how California says they're getting the information on who to pay is through your tax return. Ohio has actually announced a kind of interesting stimulus type lottery program, kind of. They're going to be giving out $1 million to 5 different people and 5 different full scholarships, 4-year scholarships, but only if you're vaccinated. And what's interesting here is Ohio is already reporting higher vaccination rates after announcing the lottery for vaccine shots, where you could win up to $1 million. Multiple other states are considering or already passing smaller incentives to get a vaccine, such as Republican Governor Larry Hogan has announced a $100 financial incentive to get the vaccine. He says, quote, "With this incentive program, we are furthering encouraging state employees to get vaccinated to help keep themselves, their families, and communities safe. Incentives like this are another way to reinforce the importance of getting vaccinated, and we strongly encourage businesses across the state to consider offering incentives to their workers as well. These vaccines are safe, effective, they're free, and they're readily available without an appointment." We're also seeing a lot of large companies, including Amazon, that are offering vaccination bonuses, also increasing their minimum wage that they hire at the company, because they're basically reporting that it's hard to hire people at the low minimum wage of $7.25 an hour, or even $8 or $9 an hour. And a lot of major companies like Amazon, McDonald's, and Walmart's are actually offering $15 an hour starting levels, or $15 an hour minimum wage in some areas of their stores. We're going to see a lot more states coming out with stimulus checks on the state level from this $350 billion. In fact, New Jersey is already considering a $500 stimulus check, where they're calling it a tax rebate, which is basically the same type of thing, with this money that they're going to be receiving. North Carolina has reopened their $335 stimulus check for families, as well as has a new proposal for $1,000 to $3,000 per family to help them catch up on online learning. In addition to this, states, cities, and counties are enabled to use their federal stimulus money, this $350 billion they're getting, to cover up to $25,000 in hazard pay for grocery store and all essential workers. Now, how each state will classify an essential worker will be up to them, and it will also be up to them if they use the money in this way for hazard pay. But they are allowed to use it for up to $25,000 per person in hazard pay. So yeah, when we talk about the fourth stimulus check update today for 2021, there's a lot more than really just the fourth stimulus check. Of course, we know there's a fourth stimulus check proposal in the next package, which is the American Families Package. Now, just know that the American Jobs Plan, the physical infrastructure package, is not really where we're expecting the stimulus. There could be a stimulus check added in there right at the last moment. But I really don't expect this stimulus checks to be in the physical infrastructure plan. It's something our country needs for sure, but it's not really a stimulus package, but it does create millions and millions of jobs. The stimulus package is called the American Families Plan, and there's really the second part of the two packages that they have coming out right now. There's multiple different stimulus items in there. We have two different bills from the Democrats pushing for $1,000 monthly stimulus checks from the House of Representatives, and two for $2,000 monthly stimulus checks from the Senate, as well as the state and local county stimulus checks and stimulus programs that are going to become available, as well as they want to include free college, increase Social Security, increase Medicare, all in this next package. So I'll keep you up to date on all these different stimulus check programs. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new updates. New videos come out every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss an episode because we cover different packages and different provisions and different news in each video. After subscribing, click the bell icon down below that appears next to this, the subscribe button after you subscribe to all notifications to get reminder notifications when we go live. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on the Amazon FBA platform. Amazon has their own FBA platform where you can sell products on Amazon, and we've already had dozens of students that have replaced their 9-to-5 income. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.